Hey everybody, this is Graybeard Gaming, and I wanted to welcome you to a reboot of the One Tile Challenge. I've already gone through and sold off all of the equipment and purchased lot number 46, such as Zorch Farming started. I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I don't want to sit here and talk, so I'm going to try and do everything without talking. So let's get jumped into it so I can get done with my talking. And then we can just watch me farm and we'll play some music because that's much more interesting than listening to me chitter chatter. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and purchase the Farmall tractor. It is the Farmall 1206, I believe. Yeah, it's the turbo. I don't know as I want to do anything different to it, but one thing I do want to do is I want to change this. All right, we're just going to go with the vintage Graybeard. Okay, and that way we can have our... So I want to have a few things, but I just don't know what I'm going to get yet. So let's just buy the tractor with the front weight. I think that'll be a good start. And we are going to put... We're just going to put the roll bar on there. Why not? Looks different. I never do just a roll bar. And exhaust, we're going to leave that alone, I think. Yeah, why not? That's probably enough for now. Let's go ahead and buy that. All right. Let's go ahead and purchase our trailer, which is the Cargo 8500. Excuse me. And we will put the cover on top. Okay. Now let's get these down to our farm. What are we going to do? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down the volume. I want to do animals, and I want to try and make sure that everything is done through the production of farm. Those are my two things. Obviously, I've got it on card. I think I have a $500,000 loan, but I've only got $106,000 to play with, but I'm about to spend 10 grand more on the shed that is also required. All right, so let's go ahead, get down there. I am going to turn down the speed. We are going to go at, for now, right now, we're just going to go at half speed while I get this set up. The other thing I need to do is figure out, so here we coming up on our piece of property. I want to figure out a border, and I've got the Perfect Edge mod turned on, so I'm going to go and turn on the greater. I've got the greater edge turned on, so I will just make a dirt or gravel outline to our farm. Pretty standard, I think. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get that done. And painting. I think we'll just do... It's all got to be animal mud. I can't have just plain dirt, huh? Alright. Oops. It's not what I wanted. Oh, I can't do this right now. I forgot I have paint and terraform on everywhere, so I'll have to do this later. Let's not worry about that right now. What we will worry about is getting that barn placed. This one here. Just trying to find out where its least expensive installment area is. Right about there. Okay. Then we will just go ahead and level off the ground around it. All right. So what I'm going to do is pull up by my barn here and just kind of have a quick look around. I've got to figure out a living setup, which is fine. It's a beautiful tractor. It's a beautiful trailer. I'm going to open up my barn. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Now, will I keep this barn? Probably not. I'm going to upgrade my barn. I just wanted to put it in, so I had it. This one's a little bit more expensive. But I feel like it's going to be more in line with what I want. If I can find the stinking thing. I know how much it costs, so that's helpful. Okay. Let's sell that because we placed it. Now we can take it out. This one's actually more expensive. But that's all right. So then let's go ahead and we're going to level out the property. All right. So let's go ahead and jump down there. So I wanted this because it's taller. I can fit a harvester in there if I want to. It also comes with water, which I don't know if it's free or not, but it does come with water. It does come with some pallet storage, shelving and back, and it says it comes with a fuel. So it's just different. But I do like the fact that it is taller. It may not actually do anything. Oh, the lights work. All right. So what we're going to do though is kind of the reason I wanted this style of shed was I can basically go over here behind my water tank and I can hide my shed, my house. And that's what I'm going to do next. And I think we'll just actually hide it right over here behind the fuel tank, which I know that's kind of a silly thing to think about doing, but seemed like the right move. All right, there you guys have it. So going forward, I don't really plan on doing a whole lot of talking. So, yeah, that's really it. Let's jump on here. I just want to see what options I'm given with the storage shed. But this way, if I decide to get a greenhouse, something like that, I just kind of like this setup. And I might change this out later on if I'm not able to do any of the things I think that I should. Hopefully it does allow me to use this as a thing to get my water. So yeah, what I'm going to do here is shut up. You guys can just watch and enjoy, hopefully.